what's up? It's Sean Baligian.
What up? This is Joyke Bell here on the Baligian Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, guess what? The takeover is still here. The show is still in commandeer. It is still Woods and Foster. No more Baligian Bell. What's going on? It's Kory. Welcome to Woodward Sports.
It's Nate Morris.
Nate
That's
Morris?
who you sounded like.
Nate Morris.
Nate Morris. That was my man's name.
What's going on?
Welcome. Nothing much. You know what? I don't like to jump on you right at the beginning of the show.
We starting early.
I got to.
Okay.
I was listening to your show. Now, are we supposed to say it the morning Woodward show? Or is it the morning Woodward show?
You know what? Whatever floats your boat.
All right. On the morning Woodward show today, you said Blake Griffin's going to have 2 dunks against the Pistons tonight?
Yep.
Dude, he's not going to have 2 dunks the rest of the season. Come on now.
I don't know, man. You know, maybe he went ahead and hopped in one of them hyperbolic chambers, got the knees going right.
You know why he dunked in his first game?
Adrenaline?
It was his first game.
First game?
What happens is the old heads, the first game they come in and they look good, and you know he's got his dunk and he's got his 2 points and everything, and he's walking around like, yeah, I'm back. Game 2, 3, 4, 5, those knees start to creak again, and he looks like crap.
I think he's going to get those 2 dunks. Now,
2 dunks in one game.
2 dunks in one game. Now, look, here's the thing. The first dunk, he's going to go ahead and it's going to look like that one he had against the Nets. That second dunk, it's going to be like he just grazes the rim. It's going to be like he just taps it in there, because I don't think to your point, I don't think those knees are going to be able to get that kind of lift. Like right there.
Brother man. A dunk off the trampoline doesn't count. All right? That don't count.
They don't have the Pistons G team out there, so they ain't going to have the trampoline. I'm going to have faith in Blake. But you know what? We'll see. I'm not expecting much out of him more than those 4 points, but you know he might try to come to the LCA and ball out a little bit, because he's back. I don't even say back home, back where he was shipped and sent after they had his jersey retirement.
Yeah, it was only going to be 750 people there. Is he really going to get geeked up for 750?
I mean, it was always 750 people before COVID, so
okay.
What's the difference? Sorry, Pistons, but no.
Oh, that's right. They only get 750 when. That's right. When there's no COVID. Damn.
unless it's a Raptors game, because when it's a Raptors and Pistons game, it is completely sold out.
I love those games.
Yeah, you know what? When I go to those games, I'm proud to be an American. I'm happy that I'm American. But when you go to a Raptors and Pistons game and you hear the Canadian national anthem, you hear the United States national anthem, and you know some people might be sitting, some people might be looking the other way, or some people sing along with the Canadian national anthem. They all are singing and standing and singing that proudly.
Oh yeah. Now, you know they dogged the American national anthem, because I've been to some Raptor games in Toronto, and they're like, I said, we help you all the time. How can Canadians be pissed at Americans? If it wasn't for us, the Russians would probably be over there. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that messes with Canada, we kick their ass. And then when they hear our national anthem, they're like, they're not happy about it.
I mean, I'm not happy about it. I mean, I've already went down that rabbit hole why I don't like it. But even before that, even before I grew to learn that information, the Star Spangled Banner never did anything for me. You know,
maybe not, but if you're a Canadian, it should. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, let's get right into it. The NFL draft is coming up very, very soon, and looks like Mel Kiper, well, I don't want to say looks like it, Mel Kiper with his 3.0 mock draft, I looked at it, was not a fan of it, but Detroit Free Press's Dave Burkett, he does his own mock draft, and he's been, covering the team, of course, and
he's been talking to the Lions, too.
Huh?
He's been talking to the Lions, too, so he may know something.
Yeah, he may know something, but before we get into what they talked about, let's talk about this Devonta Smith versus Kyle Pitts pick. Both of those guys had differing opinions. We'll get to that in a second. But between Kyle Pitts and Devonta Smith, Terry, if you were the Lions GM, you're in Brad Holmes' shoes right now.
Right.
Number 7, who you taking?
First of all, I'd be working the phones trying to trade down, but but you can't do that all the time because we always say trade down, and you can't do it all the time. I love the way Devonta Smith runs routes. I know he's 170 pounds, but the NFL bulks guys up. People on steroids, they'll get him. You know, they're getting up to 190 pounds. I think I go with Devonta Smith. I just
really,
yes, really. I know you falling for the Kyle Pitts thing. He scares me. I understand he is a wide receiver. He's not necessarily a tight end, but I'm afraid of Lions and the word tight end in the same sentence.
I am too, but you know what really worries me about Devonta Smith? It's not his height. It's not just his height alone. It's his height and his weight. His entire frame is so small. I jotted down some wide receivers who were small and were very successful. Wes Welker, 5'8", 185. Greg Jennings, I didn't even know he was under 6 feet, but Greg Jennings was 5'11", 195. Emmanuel Sanders is 5'11". AB, Antonio Brown, 5'10", 185. And Steve Smith, probably going to the Hall of Fame, I think that's safe to say, 5'9", 185.
So what scares you?
Devonta Smith's frame is closer to Deshaun Jackson's with the 5, because Devonta Smith right now is they say he's 6'1". I don't think he's 6'1". I think
he's not 6'1". If they say you're 6'1", you're 5'11".
Yeah, I think he's really 5'11", and he's 175. That's closer to what Deshaun Jackson is, and Deshaun Jackson routinely stays hurt because he has that small frame. So that's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm worried about. It's like he kind of reminds me of I don't think Ryan Broyles. I don't think he was that big of a guy. He seemed like he was not Brian Broyles, Titus Young.
Oh yeah, he was off.
He was off, but he was still
other stuff going on.
He was still a frail guy, so I'm worried about them getting that frail guy without having that.
But you know what else Titus Young did? He talked shit. When he was right, he could be pretty productive.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Smith has not been in an NFL program yet. He hasn't been on steroids yet. Shh, don't say that. And they haven't given him his first Big Mac. So he'll play. I bet you he'll play next year at 185.
But do you think so you think he'll be able to go ahead and keep that whole?
Yeah, he's
aspect
wiry.
Of his game? Okay.
And he's shifty. Not that he's like Barry Sanders, but Barry Sanders had thick legs and everything. But here's the key with Barry Sanders. You never got a great hit on him. Nobody ever lined Barry Sanders and just knocked him to the ground. I think Devonta Smith will be the same. You'll trip him up and you'll smack him in the face, but you won't get that big hit on him.
See, man.
And he's not going to go over the middle.
For me, for what I'm looking for out of the Lions, at that pick, if I had to go between Devonta Smith or Kyle Pitts, I got to go Kyle Pitts. This guy is like 6'6", well over 200 pounds. I want to say like 225. He's a mismatched nightmare. He can run just about every route. He's super fast, super big. He reminds me kind of like of a bigger Calvin Johnson. Now, the great thing about it is, I'm thinking they could probably run like a 2 tight end set, be something like, Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, just without,
without the jail sentence.
Yeah, just don't. Just because you went to Florida like Aaron Hernandez doesn't mean you gotta repeat his trajectory. Just want to throw that out there. But that's what I'm thinking about, because you can line him up as a wide receiver, you can put him use him as a tight end. Nobody's gonna be able to cover that guy. Nobody. I think he's going to be a generational talent at the wide receiver. To me, he looks like the best tight end prospect I've seen in probably the past decade plus.
Still scared, and I tell you what, is anybody going to cover Devonta?
I think they can. I'm actually, if I had to pick between Devonta and Jalen Waddle, if Jalen Waddle can get healthy, I'd take a flyer on Jalen Waddle.
Well, supposedly Jalen Waddle won't be there.
Okay.
So we have to work with what we've got.
Yeah.
So, I think both would help the Lions. I'm going to disagree with some people says, well, why don't you get a nice offensive tackle? Or nah, forget that. Let's get some playmakers in here.
What you got, Art?
Yeah, who do you think has more longevity between Pitts and Devonta? Like, you've seen both of them play on the college level, and I know it's kind of hard to tell. But as a stand-in Lion that's going to be around for a little bit, who has more of a future with the team?
I honestly think it depends on where they get drafted at. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you get drafted to a shit organization, then your whole career is done. But I think if at the number 7 pick, for the Lions, I think that Kyle Pitts has a better chance to have a more successful career than Devonta Smith coming in. That's just my
don't you think there would be a PR nightmare, and people would go ballistic? Not another tight end, the second tight end as a top 10 pick.
They would, because I'll be honest. When the Lions drafted T.J. Hawkinson, I was actually at the draft. I met a few new reporters there. Some of them I was already following on Instagram. So, everybody was saying who they were covering. I said that I was covering the Lions, and they were like, "Oh, you're covering the Lions." And you heard you guys looking at the tight end this year. Like, come on. I look. This is when I had faith in Bob Quinn.
Okay.
Yeah, you might. Come on, man. Bob Quinn.
What was that 15 minutes like?
Yeah, that 15 minutes was, yeah. So when I'm like, Lions are no way the Lions take another tight end. No way. So we were just, all there shooting stuff.
But let me help you with something.
Uh-oh.
Never say never with the Detroit Lions.
I found out that night.
So you should have known that in the crib.
I knew it, but I just didn't think.
But you hang out with Stick too much. You want to believe. You want to believe. You want to say, that's a good organization. They're legit. They're not. Well, maybe they are now, but they haven't been for 60 years. I feel like I have to clean up this entire place here. I mean,
this just made me feel bad already this morning.
Well, I know, but people here think, the Lions were a legit organization. They always had a chance. It just got bad breaks. Y'all need to be educated.
I admit, I bought into the Patriot way. I bought into the Bob Quinn facade. I never bought into the Matt Patricia facade, but I bought into Bob Quinn's ideology for things. So I'm just there at the draft. The Lions come up. And I'm just sitting there. My friend Sheena, she has the camera on her camera phone on me, just waiting to see my reaction. And the Detroit Lions select T.J. Hawkinson. Immediately, I just go. Every reporter that was around me just kind of just laughed and snickered.
Yeah,
I
would have been one of them too.
So, but yeah, to your point. Drafting a tight end here, it would be mutiny. I think it would be mutiny because I don't think the average Lions fan has ever seen what Kyle Pitts can really do. And I'm going to get back into that in just 1 second.
No, you can play.
Oh.
I mean, we're inside Grosvenor right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now?
Get some sun.
That's not what those lights are for.
Feels nice.
Go to Grow Green MI
Art,
today
turn
to
your
get all
mic
your
down.
growing needs and a tan.
All right, if you feel good about your interest rate because it's in the 3s, get over it. Call Hall Financial because their rates are now in the 2s. Be smart, make the call because you could be saving some big money. Hall Financial, fast. They do it all. They do all the heavy lifting for you, so go to davidhallmortgage.com to get started right now. Hall Financial, lower payments, better options, and more personal attention. Now to celebrate more of FriYAY, we got Terry Foster, Kory Woods.
Back on it here at Woodward Sports, and like I said, I wanted to get into why I'm going to agree with your point of it will be mutiny here if the Lions took a tight end.
You don't agree with that?
No, I agree with it. I agree it would be mutiny, but what the problem is, the average Lions fan, I don't think they've seen any footage of Kyle Pitts. I really don't. And if you have not seen any footage of Kyle Pitts, just go ahead, check some stuff out, and if you still feel the same way, I totally understand it. Like, look right there. The dude is running a 4.46 at 6'6" and over 220-some pounds. Imagine that running
No,
at
the
you.
dude can play, but we were told that now T.J. Hawkinson is going to have a fine career, but
Yeah.
you get a tight end in the 3rd, 4th round or whatever.
Right.
We were told Eric Ebron could play.
I never believed in Eric
Well,
Ebron.
you may not have believed in him, but we
people
were
did.
told he could play. Yeah, he dropped a few balls, but he's still a great player. That's what we were told. All right. Then we're told that this Lions regime is different.
Right.
I am telling people this Lions regime is different. Now, my reputation is on the line. And then they come out and draft another tight end. Then you're going to go, oh, my God, what the hell's going on here?
Now, what if they just – now, what about this? What if they drafted him and you know how some teams they'll pick a player and they'll already declare his position right then and there. Like he may be a tight end, but they come on and say Kyle Pitts wide receiver. Like they're gonna use him
That's
as
what
a
they'll
wide
do.
receiver.
They might even put him at running back or something, just to fool us, whatever.
If they use him as a wide receiver, if they're gonna draft a wide receiver, I would just take Pitts and just put him at wide receiver. Just use him just like that. I mean, there's really, if they're gonna get a guy that you need to catch the ball, who's gonna resemble that, have that athleticism, that toughness that Dan Campbell is that wants.
Right, he looks like a freight train.
They're calling Dan Campbell the dude. Kyle Pitts can be the guy next to the dude.
Right.
He can be that first pick for the Lions that sets the tone for what they're going to be looking for moving forward. You got Jared Goff. Now, for Jared Goff, he needs weapons around him in order to succeed. We've seen that happen with the Rams. He's going to need he has a good running back in DeAndre Swift. Jamal Williams is going to be great with that running back tandem. But Brashad Perriman and Tyrell Williams, they're going to be – I don't know what they're going to be. If healthy, Williams could be great. We'll take that back. Could be good.
Are any of them number one receivers?
But
Hell
that's
no.
the point. They're not number one receivers. Kyle Pitts can be a number one receiver.
I think both of these guys can be will be number one receivers at some point.
They'll be
NFL.
number one, but both of them will be number one receivers regardless. It's just that if I had to choose between either one, I would go Pitts. But going into Dave Burkett and Mel Kiper has the Lions getting Devonta Smith at number 7. But the thing about Kiper's draft I don't agree with is he had Kyle Pitts going to the Bengals instead of Penei Sewell.
Right. As quiet as it's kept, Mel Kiper, the reason he is so big in the draft was because of his hair.
I could see that.
If he had
his
regular
hair is distinctive.
Yeah, if he had regular hair, he never would make it this big. He gets out-drafted by
everybody.
Everybody, right.
His drafts never they rarely if ever hit.
Right.
And even then even if the one time his picks hit, his projections, his thoughts about a player, those are usually always off.
Right.
So it's got to be the hair because it's not
I think he's an also-ran. But he's got the hair and he's on ESPN, so we're thinking, okay, this is the guy. But he's not the guy. I don't admit that. Now, you mentioned Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Remember who he's replacing? Matthew Stafford. Did you hear what Richard Sherman said?
What did Richard Sherman say?
Richard Sherman, who's always talking,
running his mouth,
said the system the Los Angeles Rams run is going to allow Matthew Stafford to pass for 5,000 yards this year. He's predicting Stafford's going to ball out. Do you buy that? This Richard Sherman, he's a loudmouth, but you got to respect the dude because he has a lot of football knowledge.
I'm going to say this right now.
And he went
I'm
to
going to
Stanford.
look dead in the camera. Richard Sherman, you are 1,000% correct. Matthew Stafford is going to throw for over 5,000 yards, and he's still going to be without a playoff win. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, he's not with the Lions
definitely
anymore.
agree he's going to. I think with Sean McVay, they're going to open up their offense, and they're going to be exciting to watch. I really do believe so. I just don't think it's going to amount to any type of postseason success. None whatsoever.
I think he's got a real good chance postseason success from at least one game. You have to understand the Rams are not talking about winning games. The Rams are not talking about being competitive. They're ramping that team up for a Super Bowl run.
They have to. They have to. At the end of Matthew Stafford's contract with them, that's going to be 7 consecutive years without a first-round pick. If they do not at least make it to a Super Bowl, that whole front office and the coach got to get fired.
But
yeah, there's a lot of pressure on those
Who do you
people.
think? I mean, obviously, I think it's a pretty easy answer today. But who do you think as a quarterback is going to have a better season between Goff and Stafford? You would lean Stafford, right?
I think it would be Stafford by a long run.
Even if the Lions make the right picks and choices in the meantime leading up to the season?
I'll give you this. Both of them are seemingly with their teams for the next 2 seasons because Jared Goff's deal runs out in 2 years and so does Stafford's. They already said they're not going to talk about extending Stafford yet. I think that in the first year, Matthew Stafford's going to have a better season than Jared Goff. But Jared Goff will still get a playoff win before Matthew Stafford does, because I think Jared Goff could potentially get a pick.
If Jared Goff is going to get a playoff win before Matthew Stafford, here's what you're telling me: the Lions are going to trade him. He'll get that playoff win somewhere else. Is that what you're telling me? Let's get straight here.
Jared Goff's second season,
he's going to win a playoff game,
a wild card.
Lord have mercy.
I'm gonna reach for this. I'm gonna reach for the stars on this.
You know
one.
what? I will give you credit. I mean, you got balls, brother.
I'm gonna stand by it. Not the first year, the second season, because here's what's gonna happen. I do believe the Rams get to the playoffs this season, and they're gonna lose. The next year, I'm gonna say the year after that, I'll say the Lions will probably be somewhere. They'll be just above 500. They'll get into that wild card, and they'll win that wild card game with Jared Goff.
You know that's not going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, I'm going to be looking for you.
Oh,
now
I'm not going to hide.
Here's what you have to promise me.
Okay.
You can't ban me from the freaking show.
Oh, no.
Because I'm going to be, where's Kory? Come on, let's go, brother. And he's all T. We would like to have you on, but we don't have enough microphones.
That's the one thing I do not do. If I'm wrong, I'll go ahead and admit it, because you can't be 100% correct all the time. I actually lose a little bit of respect for people who go ahead and put their opinion out there, and then when it's wrong, they pull the Isaiah.
Yeah, they do. Or what they do is they'll throw out a whole bunch of stuff. It's like 12% or 10% of it is right, and then when it's all done, that's the only thing they talk about. Yeah, I predicted Chris, with Abilene Christian to win, and yeah, but you got like 6 or 7 others wrong. How come we're not talking about that?
So. Now you said Dave Burkett was you feel he was talking to some people in the Lions. You feel he knows something.
I suspect he does. I don't know. I know how these mock drafts work. You do talk to people, but you're lied to a lot.
Yeah. Sources do lie.
No. When I covered the Pistons, I thought when it came to the draft, I was the least knowledgeable person in Detroit, because I was relying on my Pistons sources to tell me the truth, and I knew they weren't. So everybody else would say, "Oh, I think the Pistons are going to do this." T, what do you think's going to happen? You covered the team. I said, beats me. I have no idea, because all these mugs are lying to me, and I know they're lying, so I don't want to throw the lies out there.
Real quick, how hard, just over your career, how hard is that with the sources? Like, do any of them ever, like, how hard is it when they don't hit on you, like on the credibility standpoint?
Well, I have a little thing that I do. I don't source anyone I don't really know.
Okay.
Like, if we haven't had a beer together, I'm not sourcing you. So a lot of times when I first take over a beat, I just get my ass kicked by whoever's covering the team, because they're sourcing people, and I'm like, well, I don't know anybody yet. So then once I start to know people, and I start to source them and everything, and I know they're not going to be right all the time, but they better damn be right 90% of the time, or else your ass is out of here. It's difficult because I haven't had to write under the Donald Trump fiasco that we had.
Fake news.
with the fake news. Now, I wasn't allowed to use anonymous sources most of the time. And the few times I had to tell my editor who it was, what was the circumstance. So I had to spread everything out to my editor, which I felt very uncomfortable doing, because if it got out that I told, then I'm done.
And you know what? That's what I was just wondering, because when John Beilein left Michigan, I had a source, very, very credible source that was with the team, said that nobody knew that he was leaving. Like none of us.
But you broke it.
I broke it, and then when I said that, when I broke that story that none of the coaches knew that he was leaving, I got shredded. Well, how do you know? How do you know? I'm like,
you mess with that Michigan mafia. So you are an outsider. You're not supposed to know. And then I'm sure the few hours where you had the story and nobody else did, they were attacking you.
Oh, I got lit up.
Yeah.
But
like, who's he? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just some young kid. Blah blah. I'm sure you went through all that, because the people who covered the team, they got relationships with people inside the athletic department. So you're supposed to tell me first.
Yeah.
How's this fool find out first? So they're probably pissed at you.
Hey.
Or, you know what? He made it up.
Hey, thing is, this guy, I took it to the bank, because you know what? I actually asked Rob about it. I asked Rob Parker, I'm like, what do I do? He's like, how well do you believe your source? How credible is it? I'm like, it's as credible as it comes, at least in this aspect. He said, stand by it.
Stand by it, and then until it becomes official, for maybe a day or two, you just kind of shit in your pants.
Yeah.
Please be right. Because
Yeah,
if it's not, they're coming after you like forever. They be talking about you today.
Yeah, probably so. Well, hey, NFL draft is going to be coming up real soon, but you know what's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks, actually. But you know what's coming up real soon this Sunday? UofM basketball. We're about to get into that right now.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to Woodward Sports. This is the Woods and Foster takeover. This is no more Baligian Bells.
You know what somebody just said?
What did they say?
They said this is the Woodward Sports Black Friday edition.
I've got a question though, Kory, because I've dealt with Joik before. You're saying it's a takeover. You're saying it's this, that, and the third. Joik's going to come back eventually. Sean's going to be back from vacation. Sean, you don't have to worry about, but would you say what you're saying now to Joik's face?
Absolutely. I mean,
Is Joik a fighter?
Oof. I mean, he won't grapple with me. I've asked him a million times. He's afraid a little wormy kid like me could beat him up.
No, he's a professional. What benefit does he get by kicking your ass?
Well, he wouldn't get much benefit by beating me up, but I'd love to see Kory and Joik go. That'd be a good fight. I think you got a chance.
But what's the point? What's the point? We are adults. You don't fight anymore, brother.
You can't say it's a takeover. You're taking another man's stuff. I'm just saying.
Okay, we can't have fun?
No, not on this show. Listen, I have to raise my hand to talk with Joik is on. This is a no fun zone.
Well, you don't have to around us, and we'll say what we want.
That's right.
Hey,
America, right?
Joik knows where I'm at. I mean, he knows where I'm at. He knows where I work. He knows how I get paid. I'm not going to be pretty much too hard to find. I got to let him in here every day. So I mean, you know what I'm gonna do? If I get threatened, I'm locking everybody out the studio.
Ooh, okay. I'm confused about this place because everybody around here, they can kick Darren McCarty's ass and they can tackle Joik Bell. But then when they talk about him, they talk like they're scared about him. So I'm just, okay, you can beat his ass, but you talk like I'm scared of him. Because there's nothing but he-men that work here.
You seen FriYAY, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like, with Smokey and Debo. You know how that y'all know how that whole scene went down. Debo be like, shut the F up, and I'll be quiet. But when he leave, I be talking again. That's how everybody is with him.
Okay, I get it now. All right.
But let's go on and get into some Michigan basketball this Sunday. Woo! You ready for it?
Sweet 16 is always good.
Sweet 16.
You get the pretenders. The pretenders are gone by the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
So you may have one or two pretenders left. Loyola. And then Sister Jean, and everybody else. But for the most part, this is, Michigan once again is going up against a team that's more athletic than it is. But, Michigan has experience. They're getting a good, not great point guard play. And, Dickinson is a problem because he's 7'1".
He's also a problem because of them late fouls.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. Dude, will you stop fouling people 80 feet from the basket?
I'm like, did you see that last one? That last egregious one when he went for the swipe?
Yeah.
I'm like, at first I thought I was Coach Howard for a quick second because I'm like, dude, what the F are you doing? Then 5 seconds later, Hunter, what are you doing?
You know what I would have said? You're not Joe Dumars, but Hunter probably don't know who Joe Dumars is, so that was a wasted words. But stay in your lane. If you foul somebody 5 feet from the basket, I'll accept that.
Mm-hmm.
If you knock somebody on their ass 4 or 5 feet from the basket, that's what you're supposed to do. But outside of that, stay away from everybody. Stay away from everybody who's smaller than 6'2".
Yeah.
Or 6'3", because they're going to out-trick you, they're going to get by you, and you're not going to steal the ball from them.
Let's just get right into it. This game against Florida State, again, like you just said, they're going up against another team that is more athletic than them. But, again, just like LSU, Michigan's bigger than them. How do you see this game playing out?
I see this game, Michigan slowing the tempo down. Because you have to remember, in basketball, it's not always the high flyers that win. We saw Princeton make a run, probably before you were born, but they made a run against UCLA and other teams. We see Loyola or Chicago make a run, or make 2 runs now, I guess. And Michigan State, even when they made their runs, weren't always the most athletic team in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were led by, in 2000, Mateen Cleaves. He was a little bit slow foot, okay? But he got the job done. College basketball is just different. And a lot of times it's the system, it's the belief. And I think, and I know Leonard Hamilton has way more experience than Juwan Howard as a coach, but Juwan Howard has these dudes believing, and I think they'll beat them by 7 or 8 points.
It's funny that you went ahead and mentioned Leonard Hamilton. For those who don't know, Leonard Hamilton is actually Juwan Howard's former coach when they were both with the Washington Bullets, now Wizards. And it's actually interesting, that was both of their Hamilton's last year coaching the Wizards was also Juwan's last year there. So how do you think that plays any factor in him looking at each other's mentality on how they're going to approach the game?
No, unless they know, maybe Juwan or Leonard knows something about the other person. But for the most part, no. You are there to win a ball game. You're my boy, you're my mentor, but not for these 40 minutes, you're not. And probably not even now. They probably aren't talking to each other right now. They're not dapping. In sports, particularly when you get to this level, it's all business.
Yeah.
Now, if this was a game in December in Ann Arbor or Tallahassee, then maybe, because you don't have your guard up. But right now, national audience, you got to impress your bosses, you got to impress your fans. All the friendship and stuff goes out the window.
And real quick, I'm going to get back. I'm going to get to that comment on 1 second, but real quick, breaking news. Just came down from the NFL Network. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are re-signing Leonard Fournette. So the terms of the deal have not just come out yet, but that's the breaking news. Leonard Fournette back to the Bucs. I guess the last domino for them to fall is Antonio Brown. That's Tom Brady's guy.
Now Gronk is coming back.
Yes,
because he was retiring and then not retiring. This brother retires more times than the boxer.
Well, you know why Gronk retired the first time. You do know why he retired the first time, right?
Refresh me.
Gronk retired because he found out he was being traded to the Detroit Lions.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're correct.
Because they asked, how did you get out of that trade? They said, hey, we're trading to the Detroit Lions. They said, how are you guys going to trade me to the Detroit Lions? I'm retired.
But does that say something about the Lions team? I mean, hopefully we'll make more changes this year to where people will want to come to the Lions. But that's embarrassing. That's one of the best players. And he's like, no, not Detroit. I'm leaving the game.
I'm walking away from football for 1 year before I put on that Honolulu blue and silver.
A lot of people do that. Barry did it.
That's embarrassing.
Calvin did it. Why not Gronk?
Gronk was smart. He said, you can't even trade. The trade can't go through because I quit.
I'm done.
Isn't that embarrassing, though?
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
But it's reality.
Or you know what? Let's look at this two different ways.
Okay.
Did he retire because he got traded to Detroit, or did he retire because of who was in Detroit? He did work. He does know Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. Maybe he's like, I know those jokers for real. I'm not about to go to that.
I think it was the Lions. Because I've heard so many little stories about guys that either want out or people that look at this organization and say, no, don't trade me there. Because in the NBA, Sacramento's like that. Nobody wants to be traded to Sacramento.
We were talking about NDAs a couple of days ago, and I'm not going to say who this player was because I signed an NDA. But there was a player in this year's NBA draft who had a list of teams that they wanted to go to. One of those teams they did not want to get drafted to or have a team trade up to get him was the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, nobody wants to go there. And the reason is it's stuck in the middle of California. It's a small town. And, the times that we went to Sacramento, I never saw downtown Sacramento. Never did. And it's just not a desirable place for people to go. Portland used to be like that. But I sort of like Portland, though.
I could see Portland being nicer than Sacramento.
Yeah, because all your games are 10:30, so people on the East Coast don't see you play. They don't care.
I don't think anybody was really watching checking for Portland prior to Dame Lillard. I mean, I know that the Brandon
But you
Ryan,
put Portland in New Jersey, people would watch.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, true.
I'm just saying they're stuck way out there.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of who cares, I guess. But hold on, we're gonna, you know what? Let's just go. I was gonna say let's switch topics, but you know what? I got some more to say about this U of M thing in just one moment, so we'll be right back.
Welcome to Crumble Cookies. It is Joey from Woodward Sports, and this is my new favorite spot where I like to spend my time because they have the best cookies I've ever had in my entire life, and you won't regret coming here and trying them. Located off of Rochester Road, right next to the Imagine Theaters in Rochester Hills, it's Crumble Cookies. Come try these delicious cookies. They even got their own app. They got curbside pickup. They got delivery. You won't regret it. Just come try for yourself. You'll thank me later. I promise.
Grow Green, Michigan is hosting a clone swap this Friday from 1 to 5. That's today. So make sure you bring up to 4 clones to trade with your fellow growers for something new. Industry pros from Fox Farm, Extreme Gardening, Roots Organic, Dairy Dew, and Fluent Bioengineering will be on site. Everyone scores a free Grow Green t-shirt at the door as well. Bring up to 4 clones to the Grow Green Clone Swap, sponsored by CloneX, today from 1 to 5. Trade it for something new for your garden. Back to the lovely and talented Terry Foster and Kory Woods.
Are you going to that today?
No, I will be working. Otherwise, I would go. If someone has some clones they want to send my way, I won't complain.
I was about to say, because I know a few people that are into, they have green thumbs.
Okay.
I heard it's just like growing tomatoes. That's what I've heard. So You know,
tomatoes are easy to grow.
Yeah, my grandma, she used to grow green tomatoes in her backyard. That she wouldn't go to the store and buy them. She'd just grow them herself.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's not that difficult, you know, and with the experts at Grow Green, they could help you. You know, I need to go there because you grow one plant, you got enough cannabis for a while. I'm sick of going to the dispensaries where I could just go to Grow Green.
You need to grow something. I don't know if it's cannabis, but man, you need to be
I need to grow some respect around here.
I mean, hey, might as well go ahead and go do it legally. Brothers got locked up for so long for doing it illegally. Now that it's legal, might as well go do it. Might as well go get paid.
Right. I know. Man.
all of my I gotta get into an argument with my friends about that because a few of them they now went and got their license to do it legally, and someone like, you don't need all that. They're like, man, now that we can do it legally, why am I gonna go get popped?
Right. The thing that killed, was amazing to me, living in the city and in the suburbs. Cops are always looking for brothers with weed so they can throw them in jail. Then I moved to the suburbs, and these old people in the gym got weed all over the place, and nobody's talking about it. They like, hey, you want, but they got them in suckers and slow pokes and everything. It's fine. If you put my gym in the hood, cops would be all over the place
It'd be
trying to arrest people. Right, it'd be a raid every day.
But speaking of gyms, let's stick on basketball. You know what? Stick's gonna kill me, but I don't care because I disagreed with him hard on this about this current Michigan team versus the Fab Five. Okay. Now we had Jimmy King on here, and he cleared it up from his aspect as well. But I want to ask you because I don't think we had talked to you about it. One game, winner takes all. This current Michigan team, coached by Juwan Howard, or the Fab Five, which of course Juwan Howard was a part of.
Right. I believe the Fab Five would win, and it would be close to double digits, not a blowout, but they win somewhere between 9 and 11 points.
Okay.
I think the key there is who's going to guard Chris Webber and Juwan Howard, in their prime. Chris Webber was a crafty player, and I know people in Michigan hate him now and everything, but he was a crafty player. He was stronger than people give him credit for, and way more athletic than Hunter Dickinson. I don't think Dickinson can guard him, even though he's taller. I think he has the double duo of Juwan and Chris Webber in the middle, so I think they win that. As quiet as it kept, Jimmy King could play. He kind of got lost in all the shuffle and everything because when you think about the Fab Five, it was Chris and Juwan and Jalen Rose. Jalen might be the key. Who's going to guard or slow Jalen Rose down? Mm-hmm. He's controlling the play. He's 6'7". He can shoot. He can drive. He can distribute. Jalen Rose might be the key to why I think the Fab Five would beat this current team.
See, I have to lean on you for this because when the Fab Five were in their heyday, I was like 4 or 5 years old. So, I mean, while I was alive during that time, I'm really just relegated to like watching highlights of them.
Right.
Or when ESPN or somebody decides to air an old game, then I can go back and watch that. So for me, I'm only just able to go off of just the box scores. And I'm just looking at it and comparing their production, the production of the Fab Five to the production of this current Michigan team. I'm kind of with you, but I would go maybe into that maybe the 12 to 15 point range, because I'm just thinking. For me, like I said, I'm just going strictly off of the stuff, the little highlights and clips that I've seen. I don't think that this Michigan team has the toughness or the swagger that the Fab Five.
No, they definitely don't have the swagger. Now you might be right about the 12 to 15 thing. Now the reason I said 9 to 11, Fab Five relax sometimes. They would go in the game and just be kicking everybody's ass, and they just kind of
get bored.
Yeah, get bored, chill out, and all of a sudden, the other team is, well, why are they up 3? I mean, you dominated the game and you're down 3, and then they just go boom and pick it up. But see, these guys, they have the attitude, we're not going to lose to you. Okay, you might be better or you might be equal to us, but we're not going to lose. The only team they couldn't handle was Duke, and they didn't win the Big Ten title. I tell you who else killed them. Glenn Big Dog Robinson.
You know what? He was
man.
a part of a national championship team in Michigan. Why don't they get talked about in the same, reverence and lore? Like,
because Michigan basketball at that time, the Fab Five, was more than winning. It was style, it was show, it was showcasing, and it was that swagger. They changed the way that we dressed. They changed the way that we looked. They changed the way that the game was played. That's why we talk about them. We don't talk about North Carolina, who beat them in the championship game after Duke. Now, we talk about Duke because they had Bobby Hurley and Christian Laettner, and they won, and they beat UNLV the year before. So we talk about them because they made major accomplishments. We talk about the Fab Five because it was more than just winning basketball games.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. But I'm just getting back into who those.
So you would have had a good time back then. You probably would have been hanging out with the Fab Five.
Oh. I don't think I need to be hanging out with. I don't think I need to be hanging out with no athletes. I've already been there, done that, and if those guys party, if they party as I've heard the rumors of how they party, then that might have been good for me.
They actually didn't party.
Then somebody lied to me.
It's hard. No. Well, I'm not saying people lied to you, but they party, but probably not as hard as you think they did.
Okay.
But yeah, they hung out.
Now I want to ask you this, just kind of on the subject of Fab Five. We talked about their swagger and them changing everything. My dad, I don't know whether he's right or wrong, he always said, you see the reason Jordan started wearing them baggy shorts and stuff? It's because of the Fab Five. They the ones, they always credit Jordan for that, but Fab Five, they're the ones who popularized that look.
Yeah, that's true. Michael Jordan did copy them, and I know Kobe talked to Jimmy King about that and other things about how they were trailblazers, and probably Michael Jordan would have gone to the baggy shorts at some point, but he got the inspiration from, before then, the NBA was all Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, how in the world were they, I don't know how they were making all of those, they weren't really doing too much athleticism, but like, them things are like right up on the thighs.
Yeah, I know.
You
can still jump in them.
But it looked like it's uncomfortable. Like your pants I should not be able to see your bloodline through your shorts.
That's true. And if you see a pretty lady, oh my God. You don't want to see that.
I don't want to see none of that.
No, but really, you know what we said back then?
What?
How do you jump in those baggy shorts? Once your shoes get stuck in them or something like that? So we all evolve. But, it's weird. Dude, brother, I used to have the little tiny Daisy Duke shorts. I used to have my thighs glistening underneath those shorts, man. That's the way we rolled.
I just cannot imagine underwear is underwear, whatever. But I could not imagine wearing shorts in public that come above my knee. I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't fathom it.
Wait. So even now, like I've got a pair of shorts that are above the knee, but they're not like getting to the area.
I'm talking about like, there's like close to the kneecap, and we're talking about like we're talking about like 2-3 inches above the knee.
So what do you want? You want NBA players to play in Jinko jeans? Like, what are we talking about here, Kory?
So you're gonna all right, pull up John Stockton 80s photo. You're gonna wear that out in public.
Pull up Michael Jordan his rookie year. But it's going back now. What players are doing, they still got the baggy shorts, but what players are doing is they're folding up the band. So the shorts are shorter now. So they're going back to that a little bit. Not the Daisy Dukes, but somewhere in between.
A happy medium.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Oh, what you about to do, Art? That's too much thigh, man.
That's a lot of thigh.
That's too much.
Who was that player?
That's Jordan.
That's Michael Jordan. He didn't always have baggy shorts. This was, he was inspired by the Fab Five.
That's what, I'm sorry. Now, Art, if it was a little bit lower and it's still above, fine. That's what I was talking about right there. That's too much. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Couldn't do it.
Hey, man. Hey, we're all different, man. Us old school dudes. We didn't always have it right. I look back, I'm like, damn, T, you wore those shorts? And you know what? Worn with pride. Well, I was walking around, yeah. Okay, yeah, you looking at my thighs, but yeah, they look pretty too, don't they?
Oh, come look at
that. Look at that.
Oh, heck no. I'm straight on that. Nah. Can't do it.
That was me, man. Put some chocolate legs underneath those. That was me.
You know what? I'll do you one better.
Okay.
I will wear those to a massage, but it's going to be from a woman, and I'm going to tell you why in a second.
All right, and you can start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Terry Foster and Kory Woods.
Hey, Greg. Got tongue-tied there because I was trying to talk about this.
You're just nervous about the shorts.
Yeah, I was petrified, man. It got some PTSD from the shorts. But, hey, guys, you're watching Woodward Sports Network. I'm Kory Woods. Terry Foster. We're filling in for Baligian Bell today. But I had a conversation with you the other day.
Yeah, I heard you getting a massage.
Yeah, I had a conversation with you. For those who don't know, I don't want to put too much of personal business out there, but I get massages because it helps me out with anxiety and other things like that. I get a little stiff every now and then, so I go ahead and get massages. So I said yesterday, all right, it's time. I got to go book one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking on the website of a place that I normally don't go to, but I'm just going to go there because it's local, near the studio. I can go probably get an hour massage and come back, so I'll use it as my lunch break. The problem was all of the available masseuses were dudes.
Cancel.
No, I didn't cancel. I didn't book it.
You didn't book, okay. I don't blame you.
I didn't book it because hey, whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote, that's your business. I just cannot get a massage I cannot pay for a massage from a dude. If I was an athlete, I know athletes, they have trainers, and I think that's a different type of relationship as a trainer, or your trainer
Right.
giving you a massage. I think that's a different context. But me, I'm about to go pay to go get a relaxing massage. I'm about to spend somewhere between, let's say, upwards of $70 for a massage. I'm not paying a dude to rub me down.
But what if they look like this? Is that, I mean...
Would you change your mind?
Would you change your mind,
Now,
Kory?
No.
Let me tell you, I got a massage from a dude. I went to Napa Valley, wine country with a babe and everything, and I wasn't thinking. And then, first they put you in a mineral bath, a mud bath, then a mineral bath. You with your lady, so it's a good time. And then it was time for the massage, and she had me hooked up with the dude because she didn't want some babe. So I should have just left her in California and just flown back home.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did she get a massage from a woman or a dude?
It's a woman.
She did you
She
dirty.
set you up because I'm of the mindset that a woman can get a massage from a man or a woman.
Correct.
It's just of that.
But let me tell you, I get the massage from the dude. It ruined my whole vacation. Because I just thought about, man, this dude was rubbing up on me.
Put some grown man hands on you.
I was like, damn, my vacation is shot now.
I gotta say though, Kory, I do agree because it's not so much like, oh, I want a woman's touch. It's what you're comfortable with. And you're not going into the massage like, oh, I want to get turned on. Like, it doesn't matter what the woman looks like. It's just it's what you prefer. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna be honest, and I don't,
And the woman, when she's massaging you, is kind of purring, and
Wait, what?
she breathes on you. It just feels better.
I get honest. I can say this. I have not had a woman masseuse that I was attracted to. Wait. Take that back. I just lied. One of my friends, she's a masseuse, and she offered me a massage to her clinic. So that was cool, though. Nothing crazy like that. But that's really the only one that I would say was attractive. Other ones.
Yeah, but it's just the fact. It's a principle thing. Yeah. I just can't. I don't really like it that much when dudes try to pull me in for a hug too much, let alone giving me a massage. Now you get that quick brother man hug, like bam, like that.
Yeah, just okay, boom.
Here's a question for both of you: would you allow your significant other to massage other dudes as her profession?
Yeah, if that's her job.
You wouldn't be bothered by it at all?
No.
No, I'm a real man, so no, it wouldn't bother me.
No.
Because I know she wants to come home to Papa.
She wants to get that Papa massage.
I think I wouldn't have a problem with that, because if that's her job, that's what she does. I mean, if I'm with my woman and I can't trust her, then what the hell am I with her for?
Well, here, let me give you a little piece of advice.
Uh-oh.
Don't get an athletic massage. Oof. Because they kill you. I mean, those little deep tissue.
Oh, those are the ones that I get. I love
those things hurt. Are you kidding me?
How sore are you for?
The thing is, I know what you're talking about. I get the deep tissue, and there's the Swedish massage. The Swedish massages are more of the light, the touching, the pitter patter. Those don't get my knots out. So okay. I need the firm, the kneading, the elbow.
But how long are you sore for? Because I've heard of these athletic massages.
I know. You sore the rest of the day.
For me, they don't bother me. I'm good. I'm good as soon as I get up out of there. Now I'm sore when I go to my chiropractor. After that,
chiropractors are weird. They put your arm up and do all this kind of stuff.
Hey, Art would tell you, sometimes I'll be cranky around here. I'm like, man, I just can't wait till I get to the chiropractor later on today.
You know what is?
I got a pain, and then as soon as I go there, I'm in the chiropractor for about 5 minutes. He goes, "Where's it hurt?" Right there. I see. Well, I'm like, how do you see?
So you need to get adjusted. And you know what? It makes that weird sound, like they crack your bone.
I think I'm doing something like this when I crack my back. I'm like, okay, I'm good. His is a different kind of crack. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't even know I had bones right there that could crack like that.
Yeah, I know.
You know who I will say gives a great massage, or not a massage, this just got weird. A great cracking of the back is Joik Bell. I'm not kidding. He cracked my back one time and every vertebrae. I mean, it was amazing. Now he wants to charge me, so I haven't gone back to him yet. But.
Of course he does.
So how did he do it? He did like what? Held you from the back when
he picked me up, but he's like, face me, and I'm like, okay.
Did he throw you over his back?
No, I faced him, and we were like face to face, and he just lifted me up, and I was like, I thought for a second, no joke, I thought I was paralyzed, and it was like the best euphoric, like, you know when you get a good crack?
It's like a release that comes through, like
all the endorphins. I was like, man.
So Joik Bell can give you a massage.
No, I worded it bad. I meant to say cracking my back. That clip's gonna come back to haunt me.
Dude, I was covering the Olympics in Italy, and part of the deal with being a media member is they gave you a massage. You could have 2 massages a day.
What?
Damn.
Yeah. And this woman, she was just flicking with my back, my spine, and I'm thinking, this is nothing. I said, what the hell? 5 minutes later, I was out like a light. She put me to sleep, and I'm complaining about the massage, and then I wake up. I'm like, man, that was pretty good. I said, what happened? She said, you fell asleep. I fell asleep twice with this woman.
I fall asleep during my massages. It's like it's.
But no, but she was just flicking my like this, like nothing.
You know what? I think it's something maybe with the deep tissue or the place I go. I think they honestly be putting me to sleep on purpose, because it's just something they do like halfway through the massage, just like, and then I wake up, all finished. I'm like, damn, where the hell 40 minutes ago?
I mean, I'm like hurting, but it's gotta be a babe though, because it's just I like women, and I like them touching me. Hey, I'm not going to apologize for it.
All right. Have you had a male masseuse?
I will tell you this. There are plenty of places in Flint you could go to get a number of different massages. I will admit on this podcast, I haven't never, ever gotten a massage. Ever. By a
Man or woman?
No, like I would love if my wife gave me a massage. Those days are gone. The honeymoon phase is over, okay? But like
no, sweet talker, she'll give you a massage.
Yeah, okay, I need some tips then. But no, like I don't like other people touching me that I don't know. You mentioned the whole like athlete thing. They built a relationship with those people, so it's different. I completely agree, Kory. But no, I couldn't have a grown man. I could barely have Joy crack my back. It just makes me uncomfortable. There's no way I'm letting a man touch
but you're
me.
still talking about it 6 months later, so it must have been good. You must have liked something.
I gotta tap in with my man. We gotta go to the fishbowl. Fish, have you ever had a professional massage?
I have never had a massage nor a professional massage.
Would you get one?
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, then.
Yo,
it's gonna make you feel good. But see, Fish is still young. He doesn't have aches and pains like older people like me.
Fish looks like someone that would work with an athlete to give him a massage. He's got the Red Wings outfit today. Like he looks like a masseuse.
No, Fish looks like the team athletic trainer right now. Like he's like he's about to go. Hey guys, you gotta get your legs up. All right, do this. Fish look like he's about to get right into work right now.
He looks like the Russian masseuse from the Red Wings.
He does.
So maybe you should go and get a gig.
If I went to the LCA tonight in the Pistons shirt, because of course they're playing, would I get in as a trainer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
you would.
No question.
You would.
No question.
They would definitely.
And they pay you too.
But I think, you know what? Real talk, I could see Fish being a masseuse for Detroit FC. Easily. Would you do that? If they paid for you to be an athletic trainer, would you be the masseuse or athletic trainer for Detroit FC?
I'd have to figure out how to do it, but sure.
Say yes, Fish.
Well, you know what? Speaking of, stay on a similar subject about manliness and getting your card pulled. What show would get your man card pulled? We're going to get into that in just one moment.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fayette at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports. This is the Baligian Bell show, but, you know, again, Woods and Foster takeover. So we got you know what? You brought up an interesting topic to get into, and
yeah, people.
I got to tell on myself and shout my friend out at the same time.
Well, I'm glad you can tell on yourself because I'm very vulnerable on this.
Okay.
I watch shows that dudes would just cringe. Like I do watch The Bachelor, and I live tweet it.
Okay.
Particularly with when they had the brother on there, because that thing was just so weird. Mm-hmm. He ends up picking a QAnon woman or some woman that went to some antebellum picnic or something like that. I actually would have picked the woman that shaved her head. I thought she was beautiful.
See, I don't judge you for watching The Bachelor because I believe my younger brother does. So I know I'm not going to judge him for watching, so I'm not going to judge you. But I have never seen an episode of The Bachelor.
Oh, wow. Man, we got to get you.
Oh, what you got, Fish?
Terry, would you ever be the host of The Bachelor for one day? Like if ABC came up and said,
me, of course. Yeah. Hell yes.
I would too. Terry about to get a check.
Yeah, you're going to get a check. And those women on there look pretty good.
What intrigues you about that show? Because I've recently started following you on Twitter, and I gotta say, Terry, like you live tweet it as if it's the lines in the Super Bowl. Like you are passionate about it.
Because it makes no sense. That's why. How can you get jealous of a dude that's got basically 20 girlfriends, and then you're thinking he's only got eyes for me?
Okay, look, it's interesting you mentioned that because my former boss was on one of those shows. She was, and I don't even think Art knows who Art might know who my former boss is, know her name, but when I say it, you might know it. My former boss used to be on Flavor of Love. Her name is Delicious.
No way. Delicious is an OG.
That's right.
I was Delicious personal photographer for 2 years. So I was literally over her house every day. So it's kind of funny when you said, like, of that aspect, this was like the hood version of The Bachelor. Flavor Flav had like about 1 billion girlfriends.
Now, she's delicious, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever get to taste that?
Oh, no.
Jeez, dude.
Just saying, just asking a question, that's all. And I got a show that I watched that's worse than The Bachelor.
What is that?
Say Yes to the Dress. Now, if you haven't...
Okay, now that might be the one to get the car cool.
Are you familiar with the show?
I know the name.
All right, here's what happens. Brides go in and pick out their wedding dress. And then usually the mother is there and then the sister and somebody else, and they bring out a dress and like, oh, that dress sucks. So they have to pick out another one. They say, we kind of like that one. And then here's the only part of I don't like about the show is when she picks out a dress she likes and they say, are you saying yes to the dress? And she says, hell yes. I don't like that part.
Terry, you got to add that they take like 5 days to pick out the dress. Like
Yeah,
some of the people are like, oh, I got to
it's-
come back tomorrow because this is the wrong dress or it's the wrong size or it doesn't fit.
Then after that, the bride goes and gains weight. Then they got to give her a bigger dress. So then they got to put panels in it because she gets fat and shit.
Here's my question. The number one question, the most important question here. Do you watch these shows with your wife or solo?
I'm by myself. My wife doesn't watch them.
Oh,
okay. Look, since Terry said about Say Yes to Dress, I gotta tell on myself on the one that I had to watch, and I had to watch it solo.
Oh, you had to watch it.
I had to watch this one, and I had to watch it solo.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. It was on Netflix. The show was called Love is Blind. I had to watch Love is Blind. The whole thing.
No, you didn't have to watch it. You chose to watch it.
No. Here's the reason why. Lauren Speed, who's now Lauren Speed Hamilton, and Cameron Hamilton. Lauren Speed is one of my close friends.
Oh, so
I
you
didn't
had
even
to
know that
watch
she was on that show until it started to air because of, had to sign the agreements and whatnot. But I'm not talking about somebody that I just knew. I'm talking about like I could call and like that is like my friend, and I had to watch the show because she was on it, and her and the guy Cameron, they ended up getting married, and they are really married.
Here's the key. Did you like the show?
I don't like these type of shows, but for her, I liked her
See,
story.
this sort of doesn't count because this is a friend. You know people in high places. You watch it because you're trying to, show a little love for a friend. I don't know anybody on Say Yes to the Dress. I don't know anybody on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I just choose to watch it because it entertains me.
So here's my question, because I don't know if you know who Lana Del Rey is. She's a top 40 artist, and I'm obsessed with her. I think she's one of the greatest artists of all time. So that is like I'm trying to word this in a cancel culture in the appropriate way, like my feminine pick of like what I enjoy. Terry has made it clear that his is The Bachelor and Say Yes to the Dress, which more aims towards the female demographic. Kory, what is your thing that you like that people might be like, oh, you need your man card revoked for?
I thought that I liked.
Yeah, maybe Corey's a real man.
I
He
know.
doesn't like any of them.
I know.
I hate reality TV. I really do.
Is there like an artist that you listen to that people would be like, you listen to that? Like that's kind of
You know what? And
You know what?
maybe
My friends tried to clown me on this one, but they're uncultured idiots because my friends tried to clown me for listening to Frank Sinatra, and I'm like, you're idiots.
Oh,
yeah, but the dude can sing though.
Yeah, something like, man.
But I understand where they're coming from because brothers are only supposed to listen to other brothers. You're not supposed to know who Frank Sinatra is.
I see. Okay, here's the thing. I grew up in the hood, but I also went to predominantly white schools from 7th grade through high school. So, and I also worked at Disney World. So it's just kind of like I have like a big.
So we could do a Blackish episode on you.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, I get you now.
Yeah,
All right.
it's like I'm a melting pot. I've been in a lot of different scenarios, so I've been exposed to different cultures. So I'm like, you could throw me in any room, and I'm going to be comfortable as long as I can, if I can speak the language, I can relate to anybody. But they try to dog. That's I guess say Frank Sinatra. A show that They Always Kill Me. I always get killed for this one. I always get killed by my friends for watching Friends.
You know what?
Because they said they stole that from Living Single. I'm like,
they did, but you know what? I never saw Friends until like a year ago.
Really?
Because everybody was talking about, oh, we gotta watch Friends, and I was like, well, there's no black Friends. I'm not watching.
I got a question for Terry. Terry, if you had the opportunity to interview one of your favorite athletes ever, and you get to pick and you get to have dinner and an interview, which I'm sure you've done before, or if you were able to host one episode of The Bachelor, what are you picking?
I would have dinner with the athlete.
Okay, so it's not like Bachelor and Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah, I'm not obsessed.
You're not obsessed, but it's just something to talk about on Twitter and something to interact with.
I enjoy it.
Okay.
And no one has forced me to watch this crap.
All jokes aside, I feel like you have every right to like whatever you like. Like getting the whole like man card revoke thing is so like played out. If you like The Bachelor, you like The Bachelor.
Yeah, but you know the other thing, and I think both me and Kory had this. There's certain things you're not supposed to enjoy because you're black. For instance, Frank Sinatra with you.
Yeah.
I went to a Kiss concert at Little Caesars Arena.
Amazing.
I like Kiss.
Amazing.
So I go in there. I take 3 steps in, and somebody said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm here to watch the concert." And they said, "Well, black people don't go to a Kiss concert." And
You're
like,
joking. Someone said that to you?
Oh yeah, it was one of the ushers.
Yeah, I mean that's really a thing. Like we're not supposed to like certain things.
I couldn't imagine like
and we have
doing
to hide
that. Someone really did. They really said that to you?
Yeah.
I went to a Kiss concert in Grand Rapids at Van Andel Arena. I never looked around to see, oh, is there black people here? No way.
You see any black people in there?
That's so. No, I didn't. But still, like, I would never. And it was somebody who was working there?
Yeah.
Man, you know how many. All right, you know how you would not believe how many of my black friends get on me about a lot of the white movies I would watch. Like, remember the run that. Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson, all of them had with like Knocked Up, Anchorman, and all of those movies. They would get on me about that. They're like, those movies are not funny. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I loved them.
Now my question is this, Terry: do you get dogged on because obviously your Twitter is mainly sports? Do you get dogged on by the people that follow you? Like, oh, here's Terry talking about Say Yes to the Dress again.
No.
Okay, well that's
I get
good.
dogged because I'm a guy watching that.
That's so crazy.
It's not sports.
You know what? I would say this. My man card gets pulled more for watching pro wrestling still than watching any other reality TV.
Wait, pro wrestling is mean. I mean, yeah, I know it's staged and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I know. Yeah, I know it too.
I thought the all swolled up dudes watch pro wrestling.
Man, I've been watching pro wrestling since I was like 5 years old, and with everything kind of changing around with the world and as far as time goes, to me, it's the only thing that still makes sense to me. So it's kind of like I still watch it because it's still near and dear to my childhood. I can always go back to it, but I get my card pulled so much for watching. Like,
wow.
Hey, you know, professional wrestling is fake, right? Yeah,
but that's not your man card. That's your sensibility card. They just want to make sure that you know that it's fake.
Oh yeah. Like I really think that the Undertaker came from hell.
He did, and Kane is his brother. Stop it. That's real.
I actually like the women wrestlers better, man, because they're fine. And
I'm actually wearing one of their shirts right now. Under this.
Oh, I thought the Woodward sports thing was for the babes.
No, it's one named Bianca Belair. I'm rather.
Oh yeah, I know who she is.
Can I ask you a question, Kory? You know, Stick is like the alpha male around here. Do you think that?
Yeah, he can tackle Joy Bell.
Yeah, he says he can tackle Joy. He can take a tackle from Sue. How would he do against some of the WWE divas? Be honest.
Divas? Okay, let me see. I'm gonna be 100% honest. If he had to go against Bianca Belair or Nia Jax, it might get a little ugly for him.
Right.
Ooh.
Nia Jax would probably kick anybody's ass in the whole world. But they you know it's fake because these little women are competing against Nia Jax. If they were really fighting,
in real fight,
she would just mollywop.
She will whoop some dude's ass.
Yes.
So that's what I'm like, you know.
No, even the little cute girls, I think they would beat most guys' ass for real.
Like Shayna Baszler, she, you know, I'm pretty sure Art knows her name. She's done MMA. I think, like you said, some of those girls, even the tiniest ones, they are professional lifters.
Right.
They just look small, but they're strong as hell.
They have training in something, and now they're just staging and stuff. But if you want to scrap with them, I bet they beat your ass.
Man, Kenny Birkin here says my man card should be pulled for liking the Hurt Business. I give Kenny crap because I'm like, dang, Kenny, it's not that many black WWE champions. Why you gotta hate the Hurt Business, the all black stable?
That's right, man.
But but Kenny, I don't want to make no jokes about it. Like, Kenny just hates stables in general, so I don't want nobody thinking that he's any kind of way or nothing like that. Me and him go back and forth. I kind of pick with him about that. He hates stables. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and get back into this Michigan stuff because we got to talk about Nico Collins. Like, that whole scenario and how he got hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray.
Yeah, he sure did.
Sounds pretty bad. It was pretty bad. We're about to get into that next.
You don't fumble the ball at work. Hey, Joy Bell, Sean Baligian. See you guys next weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, Bell's soft. Wait till it comes to New Zealand. What that hell?
All right, if your bracket's busted, well, they're never busted. When you bet with MyBookie, they have all the games that you can bet on any way that you want. Parlay, straight, against the spread. There are thousands of lines and prop bets available on all the games. Do yourself a favor. Get a head start by signing up right now with the promo code Woodward. That's Woodward, all one word. They'll match your first deposit halfway up to $1,000. That's free cash credited to your account instantly on top of your deposit. Best part is you always have access to the action whether you're home or on the go. Visit the website online or on your phone at mybookie.ag and use the promo code Woodward to grab yourself a deposit bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports, Baligian Bell Show being commandeered right now. Now, before we go ahead and get into Nico Collins, Kevin James just put some in the chat. He said, personally, I like watching YouTube shows much better. Drink Champs is 100. I do love Drink Champs. That is very, very good. But before I get into that comment again, Kenny, I'm pushing Woodward Sports to do a WrestleMania episode before WrestleMania. If we do that episode and you do not come on here and come back up to the studio, unfriend me on Facebook because we got to have this war of words in person. So I'm throwing the gauntlet out to you right now.
Woodward Sports should have a wrestling show.
Me and D-Mac have had some conversations. Hopefully we can go ahead and get that going because I think that even though professional wrestling is scripted, I think that people who do not watch it, they underestimate how big of a following and community it has.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
I think people really underrate it, and if they did their homework, they would just know that it's almost cult-like.
No, that's true. Now, back in the day, do you know that the Sunday News, Detroit News, used to run the wrestling results in their Sunday paper?
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I just actually got to speaking to him the other day. He was one of the first. He was actually not one of the first. He was the first guest. Eric Bischoff, former president of WCW and now a WWE Hall of Famer. He was the first guest on the show I do with my friend Ant Everything Is, and he's actually going to be coming back on the show very soon before his Hall of Fame announcement. So, yeah, we got to get that wrestling show popping. But I want to go into this. Reese said about the YouTube shows. You watch anything on YouTube? Any of your favorite YouTube shows?
I watch, no, not shows, but I watch old speeches and stuff like that. But I don't really watch the YouTube shows.
Okay, because I'm not going to front. I like a lot of them, but
yeah, if I could recommend one to you, Terry, there's a show called Hot Ones with Sean Evans. I feel like you would love that. They eat chicken wings. The wings get hotter, and they ask interviews questions. It's great.
See, I'm not a spicy dude.
I know, but
I can't even stand watching it.
No, but I'll tell you, Sean Evans honestly is one of the greatest interviewers of all time.
And you know what? I would say this about that one: it grew quickly, and I'm not talking about just the following, but he grew quickly as an interviewer.
So they just eat chicken wings?
they have like, you know, just gonna say like maybe 12, just hypothetically 12 sauces, and for each question they'll kind of go up a level on the meter of how hot it is until those last couple where it's just like, you know,
ghost peppers,
all of it. You say about to say some fish?
No, I was just saying, yeah.
Yeah,
ghost pepper.
Trust, and the thing is, I can't even really say which one is the funniest one because those guys just start sweating and trying to drink milk and nothing works.
Shaq was pretty good on there.
Shaq did okay, but I mean, who was that? Was it Kevin Hart that damn near passed out?
That was a great episode.
That was a great episode.
That would have been me because I'm a spice wimp.
Oh, me too. But it's a great show to watch because it's a good deep dive on the person that they're interviewing.
I can't even do medium at Buffalo Wild Wings.
See, I thought I wanted to do something similar to that, but my idea was with whiskey. But I said that by the time that we get down to the last whiskey, somebody might not make it to the car. So I just said kind of scrapped that whole idea.
Whiskey jack you up.
What's
man.
crazy though is the amount of guests that they've had: Gabrielle Union, Michael B. Jordan, Alton Brown, Al Roker, Michael Cera, Gordon Ramsay, Chrissy Teigen. Like, they have the who's who of guests on there, and it's not like, so what was your first movie experience like? Like, it's really in-depth questions. I highly recommend it.
All right, if you could do one of those shows, who's the first? What type of format would it be? Who would be your first guest?
Yeah, I would want to do I've always wanted to do interviews like axe throwing. Like, we go and do something fun. Axe throwing, top golf. We go on the shooting range, and I'd probably interview like a Dana White or a Joe Rogan and do something fun. You see all these interviews, and it's like, so what inspired you? Who's your mentor? And it's like, those questions are so played out. I would want to spend a lot of time researching, but that's what I would want to do, like axe throwing with Joe Rogan. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome.
Man, that would be good. And then ask the first question. Who in the world do you hate?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm just telling you right now, I told you this before, I just have a feeling you're about to interview Dana White before the end of the year. I just got a feeling.
You know, Dana's hard to get a hold of, man. He's and he has certain people that he only interviews with. So Kevin Iole, one of the MMA journalist greats, like one of my favorite people, him and Dana are like this. So I need to get in with Kevin Iole, which Tom Mazaway is friends with him, and kind of snake my way in there.
Oh, we got to go ahead and make that happen. Vinny Buno says, seeing Hell in a Cell in person was crazy. I saw Hell in a Cell at Little Caesars Arena. I know we talk about it being scripted, but when Shane McMahon came off the top of that cage and fell down on that table, you couldn't tell me that was real.
Yeah. I you know, the theatrics are real, but it's scripted. But I think it's really exciting, and I don't see how watching professional wrestling is a violation of the dude code.
Well, my cousin used to make fun of me when I was younger. When he would walk by, he would say something silly like, "Oh, okay, you watching Men in Tights again?" And I'm like, "Oh, damn it! Let me just go ahead and just turn this." He would just ruin it for me. But I want to go into Nico Collins. What about like?
I don't.
I'm
like
looking at it
what
and I'm just like, I'm hurt.
Nico Collins decided. Okay, you're not going to play football this year, so I'm going to prepare myself for the NFL. Mm-hmm. I think he signed with Drew Rosenhaus. Drew gave him some money.
First mistake.
True. Gave him some money. And then after he got the money, Big Ten said, you know what? We're going to play. Everybody come on back, but not you, Nico, because you got money.
Yeah, for those who do not know, Nico, like he said, Nico Collins signed with Drew Rosenhaus, and he took that money as like for like some marketing purposes. So when everybody was trying to go back, he couldn't. And I'm gonna pull up Nico's. Oh man, I just lost it right there. I had Nico's quote pulled up, and he said he opting out that time gave me. He said opting out that gave me time to focus on the things I needed to improve my game. I really self-evaluated my way of playing from last year, just studying the things that I felt I needed to improve on. So that's what I worked on while opting out. That gave me a couple months to really. He said it twice. I don't know why.
I know, but he wanted to play for Michigan last year, and he should have gotten the opportunity.
And here's what he said. Once they said they were going to have a season again, there was no way for me to come back. The NCAA wasn't going to allow me for what I accepted. I was too far down the line. But, yeah, thoughts of me coming back, I wanted to come back for sure because I came back for my senior year. So, yeah, I wanted to come back. So, yeah, I planned on coming back, but there was just no way.
All right, I would have opened a door for him. I would have said, okay, how much money did you take? Is it 10 grand? I tell you what, pay it back. We'll let you play. And, you know, to me, the NCAA is just so unyielding and it's really rough on athletes. But they'll let coaches do whatever they want. But the athletes that's who we come to see.
I mean, his fellow Wolverine, of course, different sport, but his fellow Wolverine, Isaiah Livers, wore that not NCAA property shirt.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's kind of how they treat him. It's like, oh, okay. Once we're done with you, we're done with you. But once we got you, we got you. We got you dead to rights. We can't do anything else. I personally did not like it because they're making so much money off the backs of these athletes. And I'm not saying these guys need to be getting paid $1 million contracts while playing for a university, but they can't get a little something.
I got a solution for you. Coaches are making $7 million a year, or $5 million. Reduce their salary to $2.5 million. Let's give the athletes on that team the rest of it. Do you really need to be making $8 million to coach a football team? I mean, you're getting it. God bless you. But could you survive on $4 million and spread it out amongst the teammates?
I just don't see, like, there are some universities that athletes are still complaining about not having money to gas up their cars, or they're still having to, pay for meals and everything like that. I don't understand how the NCAA has all of this money, how these coaches make all this money, how these universities make all of this money, yet these athletes are still complaining about things that honestly should be gifted to them for how much money they make the university.
Right, but you know where their money's going. Field hockey, wrestling, volleyball, tiddlywinks. That's where all their money is going, and to the coach's salary. And then when you tell the public, hey, let's give a couple bucks to athletes, everybody's, oh, no, hell no. No, don't give them shit. I'm like, how can you have that attitude?
I'm of the mindset of that NCAA should set a hard cap on how much a student athlete can take from an outside organization, and that they have to declare that amount. And if they don't declare that amount, then go ahead and flag them. But just allow them to make something extra. I don't know the exact number, but they should be able to make a certain dollar amount per year outside of the university, because they're not going to give them the kickback. They're not going to give them anything.
No, that's true. Do you know how much the Loyola basketball team made for that school? $170 million of that. 170. Just what they did in the tournament. So obviously, if they don't make the tournament, they don't make that money. Don't pay them. But if you're making and that the money that factors in is increased enrollment, application fees, all kinds of things students are paying for shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. They made $170 million.
Outside of basketball, NCAA tournament, you've heard of the Michigans, the Michigan States. You heard of the Florida States, the Stanfords, all of these other schools. Have you heard anybody or even care about Loyola Chicago outside of the basketball tournament?
I didn't know it existed. And it's actually not Loyola of Chicago. It's Loyola of Chicago for the tournament. I think it's actually Loyola Marymount.
Okay.
So you don't confuse that one with the one out in California.
Got you. So to that point, it's just like that basketball team is the only reason anybody even cares about their school.
Or even heard of it.
Yeah, so I'm of the mindset that, yes, those athletes should get something. I don't know how much, but they should get something.
What do you say to the ignorant people, and I'll just flat out call them ignorant, when they say, well, the players are getting paid. They're getting tuition. Stop complaining about it. Like, to me, that is the most, like stupidest argument ever, because it's like, sure, they're getting tuition based on their talent, But how are they supposed to eat? How are they supposed to survive? How are they supposed to, thrive and say, like, hey, I'm working towards this goal of making millions. Thanks to my tuition, I got my tuition plus the team has paid me X amount of dollars. That only seems fair. Like, Terry, when you bring up like 160, 170 million for one organization, one sport, and you can't spread the wealth?
Even if you just give them like $100 a week, how's that going to kill you?
Into that point about them being paid because they get their education for free, I'm going to be honest. I think some colleges are too expensive. Regardless of how prestigious it is or anything like that, I believe some colleges are just too damn expensive. I'll give you an example. My 1 year at Specs Howard was cheaper than my senior year at Eastern Michigan.
I can believe that.
Some of those schools, they just charge too much,
and probably least expensive than if you gone to parochial high school.
Yeah. And some of these schools are just too much money. Like 16. Okay, look. I think for at Eastern, okay, wait a minute. They raised their rates now for a few reasons, but I think it was like my year at Eastern was like, 212, 24 credits, like 14 grand, something like that. I think Specs Howard for 1 year was like 16, 17 grand. I think Fish went to Specs, wasn't it about 16 grand?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so school is too much
Back
money.
in my day, it was only $9 grand when I went to Specs.
You can negotiate too. My son was considering Eastern Michigan. They have a deal where you pay for 2 years, they pay for 2 years. You didn't get that deal?
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm not going to complain about Eastern Michigan off the simple fact that they created a pilot program that actually allowed me to come back and finish my degree without giving them their money.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna chill and I'm gonna tell you about that in just 1 second.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
Welcome back. So yeah, I was telling you about that pilot program in Eastern.
Right.
I had so Eastern has something called EMU Eagle Engage.
Yes.
And I owed Eastern like $5,600. I ain't gonna front. I had me a fun time in college, so I didn't go to classes. I was the frat guy who didn't go to classes, but it wasn't because I was the frat guy. It was that I just crossed into my fraternity, and after I crossed into my fraternity, I ended up getting a job at AT&T. So listen to this. I'm 22 years old on a college campus, and I'm making at this job now $60,000 a year plus commission.
Well, snap.
I didn't care about classes.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It was like, okay, go to class and learn about some stuff that I'm not going to care about, or go to work and go get this 7-line phone with UofM that's probably like $700 a commission. Man, F them books. That's how I was feeling.
I do. Since you brought up Eastern, can I ask you what's up with the penis-looking tower?
Okay, we really have to get into that?
Yeah.
Okay. First off, I have no idea why that tower looks like that. If you haven't been to Eastern, yes, it is a tower that looks shaped like a penis. But they said there is a saying that we have up there.
Oh, you wrote on it?
No, I didn't write on that.
Oh, okay.
This is just like a little myth that goes around. They said,
go ahead.
The day that a virgin graduates from Eastern Michigan, that is going to fall. That's the saying.
Oh,
the day that a virgin graduates from Eastern Michigan, that tower is going to fall.
Glad I asked about that because I had no idea, had no clue that was a deal.
Ask around. That is definitely a thing that is said around. If you see that tower, people would tell you. They say the day a virgin graduates from Eastern Michigan, that's going to fall.
Well, it's still up there. You know the greatest thing about Eastern for me?
What?
The sidetrack.
Oh, the sidetrack, the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's still up there.
It's still there.
Cause I know my friends, they went for they said the burgers.
Yeah, that made America's top 50 burgers.
Really?
Yes. Those
okay,
burgers
now I gotta
are
go
snap.
back up there.
You never been?
I've been there, but you know what? I've been there. I just didn't eat the burgers because I was never really a big burger guy.
So you went to Sidetrack and didn't have a hamburger?
Yeah, I was that guy.
Damn. That's like Mr. Peabody here not going to opening day. Fish hasn't been to opening day. He hasn't had a massage. Dude, you got to get a burger from the Sidetrack.
I'm definitely okay. I'll do this promise. Can't do it today. I'll get it done by Monday.
Okay.
I'll get it done by Monday.
Tell me all about it.
Just don't tell Joey that I went up there and went and got a hamburger because he's gonna make me feel like trash.
Well, Joey doesn't bring you Coney Islands. Forget him.
True.
Joey throws cookies at my man Mr. Peabody over here.
Full court.
No, we call him Joey on this show. Calling him full court.
Well, that's what I named him.
Oh, you named him that? Okay, then that's
Full
fine.
court. Then it's okay. All right.
Okay.
Now this was one on our top list, but since it's happening tonight, I want to go ahead and get into it. The Pistons taking on the Brooklyn Nets. I want to ask you this. What do you think about the way that Troy Weaver is what do you think about what Troy Weaver is doing with this current restoration of the Pistons? And you know what? I was hating this whole retool and restore talk until Troy Weaver said about the reason he's calling it a restore.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah. I want to know what's he going to do with all these second-round picks.
I mean, remember, yesterday everybody traded second-round picks. No first-round picks got traded.
I know. So he thinks, here's what Troy Weaver is saying. I am such a good general manager that I can pick out of the second round good players where 90% of the league fails. Mm-hmm. But I can get it right. Or I can take these 3 second-rounders and maybe move up in the back half of the first round. So he's gambling on himself a little bit. I actually like it because what the Pistons usually do is close to the vest, no deals. They hang with players a little bit too long, and they just lose, and they don't have a forward-thinking game plan. Troy Weaver has a forward-thinking game plan. See, I think what he's doing, he's playing chess. When you play chess, you don't just think about the move that you just made. You're thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead, and what move do I need to make now? That's what he's doing.
That was one of my biggest problems with Joe Dumars as president of the basketball ops for the Pistons. Granted, they got the 2004 title. They went back next year, should have won it, but I don't want to get into that because that is but I don't want to get into that. But I felt that Joe Dumars was not forward thinking enough with his drafting. I thought he was actually for everything that Joe Dumars did to build up that 2004 Pistons team, he did just that much to not keep it going. He was just Band-Aids. No real. He did nothing to improve that bench. The draft picks after that were horrible, like with a Rodney Stuckey, Greg Monroe, like just a whole bunch of guys.
Rodney Stuckey was like 18th, and he wasn't that bad. Just people here hated Rodney Stuckey. What were you going to get with the 18th pick? He did get Mehmet Okur.
And let him go.
But he got him.
So I just wanted to see what you thought about that because it's for me, I like what Troy Weaver is doing by just letting these young guys go out there and take their lumps on the court. I don't think they're tanking per se. I just think they just happen to be losing because they're inexperienced.
Yeah, they are inexperienced, but you can see some signs. At least they're trying to play defense. Now, not a good offensive club, but let me tell you about Joe Dumars. I tried to block the Darko Milicic pick.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
Here's the honest to God truth. There's this guy that I met named Yosemite. He was a postal worker in Spain, but his hobby was going to European games. And, you know, he had a pretty good eye about who could play and who could not play. Mm-hmm. He happened to be a Pistons fan, too. So I was emailing this guy. We were going back and forth, and he said, I'm hearing the Pistons want to draft Darko Milicic. Tell Joe, don't do it. Darko is a practice phenom. if you get him in a workout, no, he said he's a workout phenom, not a practice phenom. He looks great in workouts. You'll love him in a workout, but the bottom line is he can't play. So I went to Joe. They had a press conference, and the reason I trusted this guy is because he told me about Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay.
He said, this dude is coming over there. He's going to be able to ball out. He may not start out that way, but this dude can play. So I'm like, all right. So you told me about Dirk. I'm like, all right, this dude knows what he's. So I went out to the press conference and said, Joe, I just want to let you know that I met this guy named Yosemite. He says, don't draft Darko. The dude can't play. And if you see him in a workout, you're going to say, okay, he could be on my team, but he can't play. So Joe was like, who's this guy? You know, blah, blah, blah. What does this guy know? But I said, well, hey, I'm just telling you what he said. And I said, he told me about Dirk Nowitzki. When at that time, we didn't have much faith in European players. We always thought they were soft, because I go to this guy named Joe Klein that played for the Celtics. Big guy. I think he was about 6'8", 6'9", but he was soft. And so we always thought the European players were soft. They didn't even have the Euro step yet. So they had no game. So when I heard about Dirk, I'm like, who's this dude? He probably can't play. But Yosemite told me, no, he can play. Then I said, okay, he can. He told me, tell Joe, don't draft Darko. And I went out and told Joe. And Joe was like, I don't know who this guy is. He wanted me to give him his email address. I gave it to him. I know he didn't email him.
You know, it's kind of funny you talked about Dirk and your guy hitting on Dirk, because you know who else predicted Dirk? Well, he didn't predict Dirk. He had the same opinion like Dirk, and then once he saw him play at 18, he was just like, where are you going to school at? Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley told that story where he just like, he saw, then, you know, I guess it was like some kind of pickup game or something that they were playing. And, you know, they were all like, oh, this is Dirk, whatever. And then he said, like, Dirk just ended up killing Scottie Pippen. And then after the game, Charles Barkley was like, you know, dude, how old are you? I'm 18. What are you about to do? I'm about to go into the Army. He said, dude, you can't go to no freaking Army. You're 7 feet tall. Let me get on the phone and call my people, and we can get you in Auburn. And he like, everybody was all laughing. He was like, nah, you see how much we paid for Cam Newton? We could have got him back.
Right. You know what story that's told incorrectly? The Dennis Rodman to the Pistons story. They said the Pistons scouted him, and that's not true. What happened was Dennis Rodman did his thing in community college and then this other school he went to, and he worked out with the Dallas Mavericks. And Mark Aguirre, who was with the Mavericks at the time, called Isaiah Thomas and said, there's this dude named Dennis Rodman. He said he can play, but he can't play. I can't really explain it, but he might be a guy that you guys could use. We can't use him. So Isaiah told the Pistons about it, and they sent Will Robinson down to Dallas and watched him play, and then they ended up drafting him.
Damn.
That's the truth on that story. But it's, well, the Pistons, through real tough, you know, hard scouting and undercovering rocks, discovered Dennis Rodman. That's not the case.
Now, you said you was going to tell me this story yesterday. You said you was going to tell me the story about the teachers' rift out of town, Adrian Dantly.
Oh, yes.
That we didn't get into. We didn't have enough time to get into that one.
I spoke about some of. I was on the 30 for 30 for the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
But they took it out of context.
Okay.
The Bad Boy story between Isaiah and Dantly that I told on 30 for 30 is actually not accurate.
Okay.
That's because they took stuff out of context and mixed it up. And
before you get into that, how much of that did they take out of context? Like, how much of that did they just chop up and get incorrect when they were?
For me, that was the only thing.
Okay.
Everything else was cool, but I interviewed for 3 hours, and you know, it was probably on there for 90 seconds or something. But what happened was the Pistons, they got off to a tough start, but Adrian Dantly didn't like Isaiah, and the part about where he gave me the finger wag, that is accurate. He told me to come over to his locker, so I went over there and said, "What's up?" He said, "Do you know what's wrong with this team?" I said, "What?" He said, "That motherfucker right there." And he pointed right at Isaiah. And then he said, then he wanted me to do a story about how Isaiah was the problem with the Pistons. But I couldn't do, I had just got on the beat. I was on the beat for a week.
Damn.
And I was told, if you screw Isaiah, you're screwed. So I'm like, okay, do I tell this story now and then get no access for the rest of my time on there, or do I just kind of chill out and wait? So I decided to chill out. But, you know, he did not like Zeke. And
how powerful was Isaiah during his height?
Very powerful, because here's what I thought about the Pistons at the time. I thought the Pistons, they were content with winning 50 games, you know, making a little playoff run. They weren't thinking championships, but Isaiah, in my mind, pressed Jack McCloskey and pressed Chuck Daly to know we need to think bigger. We can win a championship, because the Pistons thought they couldn't win because the Celtics and the Lakers. Celtics or the Lakers are going to win it. Blam, blam, bam. Then they didn't know that Michael Jordan was coming next. So the way it was supposed to roll, the Celtics and the Lakers beat each other up, win their championships, get old, and then Michael Jordan was supposed to roll in. I said, okay, what's up? It's my turn. But the Pistons went to 3 championships in a row, won 2, so they kind of delayed the whole Michael Jordan thing. And at the time, the league was like, okay, we got to get the Michael Jordan regime, or whatever you want to call it, rolling. Pistons kind of got in the way, and they changed rules. They made it more difficult, because the Pistons weren't the only ones that are being rough at the time. The New York Knicks were too.
I've seen the clips. It looks like it's the Celtics, the Lakers, maybe a couple of 76
Lakers,
clips.
not so much.
Okay.
But the real thugs at the time were the Pistons, the Knicks, and the Heat.
Okay.
They would knock the shit out of it. And the Celtics were too a little bit, but they were like, yeah, but we can win championships, so we don't want to bury ourselves, or these teams are beneath us because we can beat them, so we don't have to worry about all that stuff.
You know what? I want to get more into that in just 1 second, because I got to ask you something about some rivalries. We're going to get right back on that in just one moment.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our #1 priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports, where it's the Baligian Bell show, but not today. Again, it's the Woods and Foster. So let's get back into that. You were talking about the whole age, I
got a story for you. This one's going to flip your wig.
All right, here we go.
All right. Everybody thinks that Isaiah Thomas got Adrian Dantley traded.
Okay.
And I'm not saying he had no role in it, but the real guy that got him traded was Chuck Daly. There was a game at Boston Garden in 1989. Yeah, it was in 89, because it was like in January before the trade. Chuck Daly and Adrian Dantley get into this huge argument during the game because Chuck wanted more ball movement. So when the ball got into AD, he had to go pump and adjust his socks and do all kinds of stuff. So Chuck said, basically, I'm tired of this shit. And because we got to move the ball if we want to win a championship. Because at that point, the Pistons were thinking, we're going to win a title. So, because they had come so close the year before because of Bill Laimbeer phantom fouls. So anyway, after the game, we ask about the incident. And, I mean, they cuss each other out. Just motherfuck this, motherfuck that. I hate you. You're a bitch-ass coach. I mean, it was awful. But, you know, nobody can hear it except us because we're on press row. Because the garden was so loud, if they had us up in the stands, we wouldn't have heard it either. So anyway, usually after games, the Pistons fly out to the next destination. Well, at that time, Boston Logan Airport had a curfew. You couldn't fly out after 10 o'clock. So I go to the hotel. I was staying at the Pistons Hotel, and Chuck Daly was there. And I forgot, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be gone. And I said, oh, yeah, that's right. You can't fly out. Chuck would never tell us anything.
Mm-hmm.
You see Chuck, what's up? And he was gone. This time, he stepped out of a restaurant, and he knew he wanted to get his point across. He said about Adrian Dantly, he says, we got to get that motherfucker the fuck out of here, and as soon as possible. And I was like, damn, my head spun around.
I bet.
So I knew that they were going to trade him, and the way the trade went down was they're in Los Angeles playing the Lakers, and a guy named Dean Howe covered the Pistons for what's now MLive. It used to be the Booth newspapers. He talked to Jack McCloskey, and it had to be about it had to be 1 o'clock in the morning because the game was over, but it was 10 o'clock their time. So Dean Howe's paper wanted to fly him back to save money. So he went up to McCloskey and said, is anything going on trade-wise? Should I stay on the trip or should I go home? Jack McCloskey told him, oh, don't worry about it, Dean. Go home. Nothing's happening. So Dean, as soon as his plane touched down in Flint, Adrian Dantly's been traded.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Did you ever talk to him about how he felt after hearing that?
He was pissed.
I can imagine.
Mad. He was mad. But that's, once again, it goes back to how when you cover a team, you are lied to constantly. And I thought in some regard, I knew less about the team because I wasn't listening to rumors.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to the team. And it would just flat out lie to you.
Why? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out because I'm sitting up here. I'm getting the knowledge from you. I'm learning from you. I'm asking you all these questions so I can sharpen myself moving forward. What do you do in that situation when the team is lying to you?
Well, you got to brush it off. You got to understand business is business. See, they don't want anything leaked before it happens because then some minds could be changed,
right.
or then the public could say, you know what, this is a bad idea. We don't want, and they don't want that out. So yeah, they flat out lie to you. And I think that was the circumstance there. They just want it to happen and just move on.
Jeez, that's trash. But no, Pistons play tonight. You think they got a chance against the? You think they got a chance against the Nets?
Is James Harden, KD, and Kyrie Irving going to be out?
Well,
because I
2 of the 3.
I made that mistake. I watched the Utah game.
Okay.
And none of these people showed up, and it was like 100-60, and then they ended up losing 117-77.
Yeah, I think I know KD's still out. Kyrie Irving, they haven't heard anything about him coming back. He was out because apparently he's having a baby. So it's going to be
Pistons will hang with him for 3 quarters, and they'll get blown out.
Fish, you going to put any money down on the game?
No, but I'm cheering for the Pistons. Go Pistons.
All right.
Good luck with that. What's the spread?
Oh, I didn't even look at it because I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and leave that.
I bet the spread's got to be 8.5.
Hold on, let me just pull that up. See if Art, do you got that? Just looking at it right now from
I got it. Yeah, so Pistons, it's a 5.5 spread. Looks like money line is obviously.
That means these dudes aren't playing then.
Yeah, obviously
it's only 5.5.
The money line is favoring the Brooklyn Nets at -225, and the over/under is 219.5. That game kicks off at 7:10 tonight.
I think you know what? I think I might jump in there and take the over.
Well, if these dudes aren't playing, they may not.
James Harden, who knows? You know what? I think James Harden sees that MVP right now in his sights.
So are you acknowledging that he's an MVP candidate? Because I know you don't like the dude. You don't like the brother. See, you keep looking back at the way he played in Houston. You got to focus on the way he's playing now.
And you got to stop being like Maz. I mean, seriously. Like, Maz hates people based on if they're good and if they beat their teams that they like.
Oh, I'm just not. You know what? I'm not even talking about how James Harden exited Houston. I'm just not a James Harden fan of his game. I'm gonna tell you when I stopped becoming a fan of James Harden. It was the Heat Thunder NBA Finals. I felt he pulled a disappearing act that rivals Harry Houdini. That man just went ghost. And I see why they eventually got rid of him. I don't think they got rid of him the next season, but like the season after.
A lot of players did. You know who else did that?
Who?
Kobe Bryant.
Ooh.
Kobe Bryant. There was one series.
Is he talking about the Utah series or the NBA Finals?
It was the one where they complained that he shot too much. And then he didn't shoot the basketball.
That was I know which one you're talking about.
Was that Utah? That had to be Utah.
No, Utah was when he did the air balls when nobody wanted to take a shot.
Oh yeah. But you know what? He was a rookie then.
Yeah.
I forgive him for that.
But the one where he shot too much and he refused to shoot. I think that was against Phoenix, where they said he quit on the team.
Yeah.
I think that was against Phoenix.
And he's the reason the Pistons won the championship in 2004 because he wanted to pass to Shaq.
I kind of understand what his mindset from that, because Shaq at that time was still Shaq just off of name, but for that particular year, he was fat, not a shape. And then he got motivated once he got sent to Miami. Once he went to Miami, because I think when he went to Miami, one of those years he had an MVP season. I think one of those 2 seasons, and he got robbed because I don't believe
he got robbed by Steve Nash.
Him and Kobe got robbed by Steve Nash. I don't think Steve Nash should have an NBA MVP, but that's neither here nor there. But
he's gonna get in the Hall of Fame because of that.
I think Steve Nash is gonna get in the Hall of Fame without it. Just the way the NBA Hall of Fame, the basketball Hall of Fame is set up. But yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, whatever. I just didn't see. I get why Kobe didn't pass to him there. Like, Shaq was fat and out of shape.
Right, but he was their best shot for them to win.
But sticking on the point, I don't like James Harden because he's just a guy who just disappears in the moment. That's just me. We've seen it happen with the Thunder. He went to the Rockets. They gave him every ample opportunity to succeed. Pretty much every player that he wanted to come in, they brought in, and they still failed in the postseason because he's the guy who disappears during the postseason. Regular season, his numbers are off the chart. Postseason, complete failure.
But this year, he's distributing the ball more. He's not going to be relied on as much if everybody stays healthy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I think it might be different. A second, I'm good to know. maybe that COVID shot is working in finally.
Oh no!
After 5 days.
I heard that there are some interesting complications for that, but it varies from person to person. I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm still we already talked about that. I'm still kind of waiting on it to see what I'm gonna do about it.
It hasn't done anything to me. No chills, no heat, no sweat, nothing.
So before we get out of here, hey, all right, let's talk about UFC. What you got going on this week?
Yeah, so big fight card, UFC 260, 15-3, Francis Ngannou going up against 20-3, Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic is the champion, while Francis Ngannou, 4 straight first-round finishes, and in the heavyweight division, that's insane. We actually have a dartboard that we're going to be giving away, so we're going to be giving away a proper 12 dartboard. All you got to do is go to the Art of Combat on Twitter right now, fill out the Google form, put your name, your email in there, make the picks for the fight, and then Saturday night we're going to announce the winner. Will have a watch party here at Woodward Sports.
How come I never get an invite to the watch party?
You are always welcome. You and Blissful Terry, obviously room's limited, but if it's you two coming, I'm kicking people out to bring you in.
Thank you. I mean, I'm trying to learn from you about the MMA stuff, man, because I almost put some money on Stylebender a couple of weeks ago, and
be careful. No one in MMA can finish unbeaten.
Yeah, other than Habib. Habib is 29-0 and he has retired. You could say he's got a padded record, but regardless, he's one of the greatest of all time. I will say, if you're thinking about putting bets in, coming up shortly around 1:15, we're going to be doing our betting podcast for the UFC for the card tomorrow. So make sure that you watch.
Ooh. So who are do you have any predictions on how it's going to turn out?
Yes, and I'll tell you today at 1:15.
Oh man, I tried to prod it out of you, but
we couldn't get the. Oh man. Well, hey, business is business.
I would do want to ask you one last question about UFC. And this is coming from me, the WWE fan side of it. We saw Ronda Rousey. We saw how Ronda Rousey left UFC.
Mm-hmm.
She went to WWE, made a little bit of money. She left WWE. Well, she still technically signed to WWE, but she left because she went to go try to start the family or whatnot. Do you think that she is done in UFC? Because at one point she was the. You could speak to this better than I can, but at one point, wasn't she like the top draw?
Yeah, so Dana White made it clear never having women in the UFC. Then he brought Ronda in and she took over. Then she faced Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes, and we all witnessed how that happened. I would say no. I would say she's never coming back. But Miesha Tate, who she's had a long-time feud with, just announced that on July 17th she's returning to the Octagon. I could possibly see them doing a pay-per-view with Ronda versus Miesha 3, but we already know how it finished the first 2 times Ronda defeated her. Other than that, no, she's living a happy life, taking care of chickens, living, and
if they were to get that fight, the version 3, do you think that would do any numbers?
Oh, it would do massive numbers. Yeah, but I think it's based on experience. It's based on who's active. Dana mentioned in a press conference yesterday that she's not coming back ever. I don't really take his word for granted. I could see her coming back, but it's going to be a long time.
Yeah, to me, Ronda's tainted a little bit.
Yeah.
She's not this can't be beat, gonna put you in the arm bar in the first round. People have kind of beat her out. I tell you who's the one. Who's the woman in the beer commercial?
Amanda Nunes.
Oh, that's.
I've been praying for Amanda Nunes versus Clarissa Shields in a boxing match. I would pay big money to see
She's
that.
Too small though.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Clarissa Shields is.
You'd be surprised.
Well, you know what?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know who did get beat? Baligian Bell, because they got beat by us and we commandeered their show once again. And you know what? We got to get out of here. We ran a little bit over time, but you know what? Who cares? It's not their show anymore.
That's
but
right.
Hey, you guys have a great weekend. Have a great day. Catch you later.